Let's talk about plant care for the Dracaena Marginata. This is a really easy plant to care for and can live for years to come. Now, this is a small guy here, but indoors they can grow up to about 6 feet, but they're slower growing. In nature, outdoors, they can grow up to 20 feet. They can tolerate low light settings, but it will slow the growth of new leaves. They prefer sort of bright, indirect light in your home. You really only need to repot every 2 to 3 years. Just keep an eye on its roots if they're starting to come out of the pot, or if you feel like water is draining straight through and there's no soil holding in moisture, that's a good time to repot. Plan to water your Dracaena about once a week. Typically, you want to make sure that first inch or two of soil has completely dried out before you give them another drink. They are pretty tolerant to people who are inconsistent with watering, so that makes them great for beginners, but try your best to hit them once a week. As your plant matures and gets taller, these lower leaves are going to start to fall away and you'll start to see their skinny little trunk appear. That's totally normal and your plant is still very healthy. If you notice your leaves are yellowing, it can mean that you're watering inconsistently or you're giving it too much to drink. If the tips of the plants are browning, it could be that in your home there's not a lot of humidity, and that's okay. It also could mean that the water that you're giving it might have fluoride in it, which is pretty typical for any of us using just our typical tap water to water our plants. So you may get some browning tips. You can trim those tips off and just move on. If you're really fancy and want to do distilled water or rainwater to water your plants, they'd love that too. Dracaena Marginata can be toxic to pets. If you have curious pets at home, keep this one out of reach.